Hi, everyone. This is Joe from On the Move, and I wanted to take a moment to talk to you about today's sponsors. Today's episode is sponsored by Nick Dowers Cowboy Week. Cowboy Week is an online video library with all things colt starting, cowboying, and cow horses. If you want to level up your horsemanship and get some tips from some of the top hands in the industry, you can go to nickdowers.com/cowboy week and use coupon code on the move at checkout. I also want to take a moment and thank another sponsor for this particular episode with JD Thacker, CN Garwood Bits and Spurs. Look up Connor in Garwood on Instagram and you can see his work. Connor is a cowboy and colt starter on the ORO Ranch in Arizona who also makes bits and spurs on the weekends. If you hit him up, get one of his cool sets of spurs or a cool new spade bit. He might even throw in one of these cool hats. Thanks again, Connor, for making this episode possible. Now, here's JD Thacker.
I remember I was really wanting to come down right before the futurity, and that's when he got kicked, and that's when I was,
Nicole showed me those photos.
Yeah.
That was like the airlift and everything.
oh yeah.
Man, that's crazy that you you can do all this stuff like riding 2-year-olds and chasing them.
Oh, yeah.
cows, and then that is what gets you airlifted to the hospital.
Yeah.
Just afraid of a horse. So, but you grew up in California, right?
No, I'm a Nevada.
Nevada. Okay, I don't know why I thought California.
Well, I worked in California in the last 2 years.
Okay, maybe that's what I was at.
Yeah, when I worked for Nick, and then I went and worked in California for 2 years.
Okay.
So I just came back to Nevada this last June.
Okay. Gotcha. So where in Nevada did you grow up?
Like Winnemucca area.
Yeah.
So I'm like the 7th generation from right there in Winnemucca.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Mhm.
So where I'm at, I'm the 8th generation on our place.
Oh yeah.
But the more people you talk to, I think my family really takes their time before they make any big decisions.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm the 8th generation, but the first generation got there in 1763.
Right.
So that's like a long time for 8 generations.
Oh yeah. No kidding.
But that's cool. So you're like true blue Nevada from the beginning. I imagine that's pretty unique in this part of the world.
Yeah. I mean, you see a lot of like 5, even 6th generation guys, but seven's a lot for out here.
Yeah. Do you know like when that was?
I don't exactly, but they actually have books on, it'd be like my great grandfather or whatever. So we originated from Missouri. He was a Wells Fargo detective.
Oh, that's cool.
And he actually chased a bad guy kind of all over. I think he chased him all the way over here somewhere. His name was Black Bart.
Yeah.
But anyways, and then I think that's how we ended up over here. Was he just kind of got started over in this country.
Yeah. That's like you couldn't write it up any better than that. Like started family ranch there. Cool. So then I mean, I can tell from kind of you just talking this week, but you grew up ranching, cowboying, the whole deal.
Yeah. So when my grandpa was alive, I helped him out there at the ranch quite a bit and got to cowboy a lot when I was younger. And then when I graduated high school, I still went out some to the ranch and helped him. But mostly after high school, it seemed like I was just I started a lot of colts and got into the training deal.
Gotcha. And you have like horse trainers in the family, though, don't you?
My uncle is, yeah.
I guess
me and my uncle.
Gotcha. Was he a influence on that? Like, why'd you, you know, go starting Colts instead of, trying to find a camp job or something?
Oh yeah, no, he was a huge influence because, I mean, I just kind of idled him ever since I was a little kid, and I used to go spend summers with him.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in school, I'd go spend summers with him, and then right after I graduated high school, I pretty much moved in with him and lived there for 9 years.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, he was a pretty big influence. I started a ton of colts with him. He's a good colt starter,
Yeah.
and I trained some, not a lot, but some, and showed some.
Mm-hmm. Was it like all cowhorse stuff?
Pretty much, yeah. Some like straight cutting a little bit too.
Okay.
But pretty much, yeah, cowboys.
Yeah. Well, from not knowing you very well, but just watching you this week and stuff, I don't know. I feel like you can almost tell, like around all those colts and stuff, like you just see how you act and like, this guy's seen a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Not even like, obviously you're like, oh, right there's, maybe where they might break into or that.
Right.
But it seems like if you just work with enough horses, at the very least you stop getting that like deer in the headlights.
Oh yeah.
And you have that, like you're pretty much the same
Right.
level the whole way. So I was like, man, this guy. And then Jake actually was telling me, said, oh yeah, he started a lot of colts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what did that look like? Is it similar to how it was here? The way you worked with horses and started your colts and stuff changed a lot, or?
Not really. I mean, I always pick some little stuff up here from Nick, and I try. I think when I come here, like I try to pay a little more attention to the line of the colt and stuff. Like just the minor details. But I'd say like with my uncle, anyways, we've always had the best luck. Like we're a pretty good team starting those colts.
Yeah.
It always helps to have a guy on the ground for the first ride or two and keep you from getting in a bad spot.
Yeah. Seems like when you're starting colts with other people that you trust, it's almost like you got the two of you together can get through way more work than if it was just like you stay in that round and I stay in this round.
Oh yeah.
I'll just work all day. You can get way more done if you're just in the same pen helping each other.
Yeah.
And that's cool to see here because, like a big part of what I do for a living is start horses and stuff, but I don't really get opportunities where it's like there's 2 or 3 other people around to maybe, like ride, let's get a back leg or something like that,
Yeah.
And it really does just like speeds up everything.
Oh yeah.
And in a good way, like speeds up everything without really like shortchanging the horse, I think.
Right.
Yeah. So then was it pretty much like from the beginning, I'm going to be a horse trainer then?
Just from the beginning, it was just I want to be a cowboy and ride nice horses. And then I got to show like in a lot of youth stuff when I was a kid, and so I kind of I fell in love with the cow horse part of it.
Yeah.
But then I got away from it for a few years, like when I was in high school and stuff. And yeah, I kind of jumped back into it right after high school, but last year was for sure the hardest I'd ever hit the show really. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, it sounds like you were pretty darn successful last year.
It was a good year.
Yeah. Can you talk about that a little bit? Like where you went this past year and
Yeah.
what you did?
Yeah, so I right after I left Nick's, I bought this stud casino cat. But anyways, I bought him because I just wanted something that I could keep going on and keep practicing all this stuff that I learned from Nick. And
Sure.
and then we moved to California, and we were just running some yearlings over there, and it was more of a cowboy job than a horse.
And when you say we, is that you and your uncle? Or?
No, it was me and my girlfriend.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, me and my girlfriend worked for, well, ex-girlfriend, but we worked for Nick here, and then we left together and went to California together.
I see.
But yeah, like I said, it was mostly just a cowboy job over there. But I bought that horse and I got to training on him, and he was a nice colt, like probably the nicest 2-year-old I'd ever rode. And then, and I didn't really like, I wanted to make a nice horse, but I didn't really have any big plans of showing. I mean, I figured maybe I'd take him to like the Reno Futurity in Idaho or something. I had no intentions of going to Texas at all.
Yeah.
And then I ended up getting another really nice stud that TJ and Lacey Thompson on. And he was just a good horse too. And I kind of got to thinking like, man, I can't waste these 2 horses, you know, and like, I probably could have made it work over there in California, but we didn't have good ground in that arena to train. I mean, we could ride some colts and stuff around, but it wasn't good like to stop in or.
Yeah, and that's a big deal, having access to that.
Yeah, because it kind of broke my heart really to leave that place over there in California. I loved it over there, and the people I worked for were awesome. But anyways, so I moved back down to Fallon to a buddy's house and basically just rented stalls from him and went to training because, I mean, like my horses were broke, but they hadn't really stopped much or I hadn't went down the fence or like most all my training was kind of outside over there in California. Until the 1st of June this year, and then it was, but I must have had them fairly decent because they took it all. They took it all pretty good when I come to the arena.
Yeah, because at this point, like that person, they're in June of their 3-year-old year. Yeah, and when you said you moved back to Nevada and had the horses in training, was it just your 2 horses, or you pick up? Well, I guess one's the client horse.
Yeah.
But was it those 2 horses, or you just left to kind of?
Yeah, and I had another little mare that I showed. She wasn't anything special, but just a good little like level 1, limited horse. I had her, and then I started colts around this country so much that like it took me no time to have horses. And I had some horses I was riding for people when I was in California that came with me too. So
okay, cool. So the base was always.
Oh
there. Yeah. But that, I mean, that's a big move. That's kind of like a big bet on yourself type move you made there.
Yeah. I was a little nervous about it, but I think I had so much confidence in my horse that I was like, man, I got to go showing, you know?
Yeah.
And the first 2 shows, like he showed good too for like basically like my first 3-year-old on my own.
Yeah.
He showed great. I overspun him at Vegas, like I spun 4 times.
Yeah.
And then I went to Reno, and he was really good at Reno. And same deal, I spun him 4 times.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we zeroed in the rating, didn't win any money, but we were right there to win some money. And then there was no way I could afford to enter in Texas. And my buddy Daryl Norkett there in Fallon, the guy I was renting stalls from, he just wrote me a check. He's like, you gotta go showing.
Oh, wow.
And
So he saw the potential in you, but he saw what you saw on the horse too. I imagine.
Yeah. And then TJ and Lacey, they wanted to go on their horse too. So I actually drove down here and met up with Nick, and we headed south. And it ended up being good.
Yeah, it's a haul, like 16, 17 hours?
It's like a 24-hour drive.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
okay.
24-hour drive.
Golly.
And we drove straight through, like, I mean, we gangster stop and have dinner somewhere and let the horses out and all that good stuff. But we drove straight through.
Yeah. Dang. Well, so then you get to Texas, and with people paying your fees and stuff, I bet that whole 24 hours you're thinking about how not to spend 4 times, huh?
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it was funny, it was just the one way, and it was just something weird in that turnaround. Like, I remember my stand kind of wanted to start a little different in that, I don't know how you say it, like he wasn't stuck, but just a little, something wasn't right in the start of the turnaround. And so I think I was just focusing so much on getting him started in it good, that like I would get going, or like I'd get started and then he'd get going, and it would just throw me off whack on where I was at, because I was focusing on the start, and then all of a sudden we're going, and I'm like, crap, where are we at?
Yeah.
And so I don't know. Yeah, I practiced turning 3.5 in the left.
Yeah.
A few times there before I showed him at Texas.
Yeah. I heard that Casey Geary podcast once. He's talking about some horse that was like, it was a really good spinner, and he like overspun on it several times. And he just talking to some mentor. He's like, what do I do? And he's like, you need to teach that SOB to count to 4. Like, because he wants to spin so bad. Yeah. Cool. So talk us through driving down to Texas and how that goes.
Oh, it was good. One of Nick's helpers hopped in with me, Jill. She's actually working for me now, which is awesome. But she hopped in with me, and Nick had crew and the other girl that was working for him, and we just hit the road.
Yeah.
And like Nick and his help, Nick would pull like this 12 or 14-hour shift, and then they'd switch, me and Jill, we'd just switch like at every time we stopped to fill up, we'd switch.
Sure.
And that, I don't know, that seemed to make it not terrible.
Yeah, doing that. 12 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but that's like when we haul the light, that's kind of the same deal for us. But you guys probably have a lot less traffic to go through to Texas. Cool. So you get there, and you're like, and had you been down to the futurity before?
I mean, I had been down there for the finals, just because I worked for Nick, and I would help drive horses to Texas, and then he would fly me home, and I'd ride colts or whatever needed done around here. And then a lot of times he would fly us down there to watch the finals.
Okay.
And then, like I said, my girlfriend at the time was his assistant, and I'd help drive home too.
Yeah. Do you think that helped? Because, obviously you talked about you kind of grew up in the Cowhorse and you were really familiar with it, but being able to see what it looked like to go to that specific venue for that specific show and kind of what the formula was for success not just from the horse training aspect, but like we're going to get here on this day, we're going to keep this schedule while we're here, we're going to do these things. Do you think that contributed to your success in Texas?
Oh, I think so. I mean, just, yeah, anytime you get in that environment, you can kind of just get comfortable being there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it helps a little for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So you go down there, and are you level 1 at this point?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Level 1. And I ended up showing 3 horses down there. Zane Davis taught me into catch riding a horse for him, which was kind of a funny story because she, well, I ended up winning the reining water in the level 1 and the limited, and I only rode her like 3 times. And I rode her 3 times right before I showed her, and she showed good. I mean, it wasn't hard to show her, that's for sure. It was,
Yeah. That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. And then how'd you go with the other horses?
My stud, he was right there behind her. He was the 19 in the reining.
Yeah.
And then TJ and Lacey's stud didn't have the best go. I can't remember what he was. He was like a 14 or 15, but still not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I assume you made the finals in at least one of those horses?
I made it on 2. I made it on my stud and TJ and Lacey's stud, the 2 that I took.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So TJ and Lacey's, I ended up just making just the limited finals on him. He didn't have a very good cow in the prelims, and otherwise I think I could have snuck him in the intermediate finals too. And then my stud made the intermediate and the limited finals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So you go there being level 1, and you made it all the way up to the intermediate finals.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then talk about the finals.
So like I wasn't that nervous really, like showing the whole time down there in the prelims. Like
Yeah.
I felt pretty comfortable the whole time.
Yeah. Is that something that, like, from the showman aspect, have you ever struggled with that?
Oh, I used to get so nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I just had confidence in my horses, like
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know really what was different this year as far as that goes. I just had some nice horses, and I wanted to go show them, like I was just craving it. So I don't know. I didn't feel nervous at all in the prelims, but in the finals in the Will Rogers, that's a whole different story. Like,
Yeah.
it's a little intimidating once you get in there.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been to the Will Rogers, but if you watch the live stream, I mean, it looks like bull. They're kind of on top of you a little bit.
Yeah, and I feel like when you're like in the reining and you're running your circles, like there's just people that are so down low right there against the rail, like you're just eye to eye with a lot of those people going, and it just feels like you can never get away from them, like you're just surrounded by them. And so it's a little intimidating for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, man, that sounds like a couple of pretty special horses. To like have all this happen. And then again, you're talking about, I'm sure age and experience helps too, but didn't feel like you had show nerves or anything like that.
No, which was weird because I used to get really nervous, and I really didn't I might get a little nervous like warming up outside right before I had to go, but like as far as being in there, I didn't feel tight or nervous. And
Nice.
yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah, and like you said, just 2 good horses. Like I felt lucky, and honestly, that's why I left California to go show it too. Is like I felt like it was just kind of meant to happen because those two horses just fell in my lap. And
Yeah, that's great. So in the back of your mind with that stud, like riding him as a 2-year-old, like Texas never.
oh, it crossed my mind, but
Yeah.
like in reality, I never thought like where I owned him, I never thought I'd make it to Texas on him.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Just because you were the owner and
Mm-hmm.
you weren't sure how you were going to bankroll all
Yeah.
that, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, and I still didn't, but thankfully for Daryl.
Yeah, it still happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and, you know, I think it speaks to you. You didn't really have any hard plans. Like you described, like basically working a cowboy job.
Mm-hmm.
But you still rode that horse with the quality of could go show
Mm-hmm.
if I needed to.
Mm-hmm.
And like Nick talked about that earlier in the week, where it's like, if you got a bunch of horses in the barn, you can't just like kind of half-ass on a bunch of them and then ride your 2 nice ones well.
Yeah.
Like you got to do a good job on all of them.
Yeah.
And you're a huge example of that, I think. With that story.
Yeah, like when I was riding him as a 2-year-old, I mean, I just wanted to get him broke and like have a super nice horse, and whatever direction we went from there, we went. But I knew he had some talent, and he was super good-minded, but yeah, training like it was like there wasn't a lot different about training him. It was just applied outside more than it was in the arena.
Mm-hmm.
Like pretty much on him as a 2-year-old, the only time I rode him in that arena was just to work a cow.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, like even loping circles and stuff, like there was some big flats out there, and I just, you know, and of course they're just 2-year-olds, so it's not like they're running big fast and doing crazy stuff yet, but like most of my stuff was kind of on that big flat. Like I could lope circles and get him set up and like counter canter around and not have a fence to lean on or a certain corner or anything for him to start anticipating anything. Or I just got him really well about kind of like how Nick you know, he's always talking about getting his horses to stay underneath him, you know, like just got him guiding really good, and it makes such a huge difference. Like, and if they're just light and willing to just, when you pick your hand up to go right, they get underneath you and go right, you know, and so I did a lot of that, and then of course ranch jobs too. Like I remember shipping cattle on him and in the alleyways and sorting and all that kind of stuff. He was just 2-year-old, so I didn't do a lot of doctoring or anything like that on him, but I did brand a little handful of calves on him as a 2-year-old, and I mean, dang sure gathered some cattle that were, you know, I tried not to go give him like too hard of a day, because some of that country road was steep and rough, but whatever little cowboy job I could give him that was kind of close to the house, and I would dang sure do it on him.
Yeah, good deal. Well, that's that's kind of been Nick's thing he's talked about for a lot of years now, and almost part of his brand is the seasoning the colts from the ranch work. Here you are, a guy that worked for him and kind of did that exact thing, and then it worked out so well for you. Cool. So let's go back to the finals in Texas. You made the finals on 2 of your horses, the 2 you've been riding consistently. What's your attitude going into the finals?
I was just on cloud nine. Like I said, I didn't think at all that I was going to end up there on either one of those horses, and then to have them both in the finals, like I was just on cloud nine. I really just wanted to go show them the best I could in the finals. It wasn't the greatest finals, but we still were there and still. It was all right, but it dang sure could have been better. But like I said, it's a little intimidating being in that Will Rogers.
Yeah.
And it's loud during the finals.
Oh yeah. Even like the limited and the intermediate.
Yeah, dang sure not as loud as the open finals, but it's plenty loud.
Compared to 99% of horse. Cool.
No, it was a great experience.
Good deal. And then you've had success other places too this year, right? Like Reno went really well for you.
Yeah, I won the level 1 at Reno, but that was on another catch ride horse. I actually rode that horse. Daryl Norgett had that horse in training, and he didn't think he was quite tough enough for the open stuff, and so I ended up winning the level 1 on him there. I think he won some intermediate money there too.
Oh yeah.
But that was good, and I think TJ Lacey's done won the level 1 at the pre-futurity. So one little something on him there. And like that horse, I don't know. He's probably the smartest horse I ever rode. He was incredibly smart, like just figured stuff out fast. And I had great moments everywhere I showed him, but it seemed like we just have little baubles that always cost us from winning big. He wasn't the greatest with his leads, and I think I worked on him so much, like he was just a little maybe irritated in my legs once in a while, and so like I'd get a kick out once in a while, or like he wouldn't totally kick. He did in the finals at Fort Worth, but he would elevate behind, like he wouldn't kick, but he would elevate, and they'd get me for it. And it just seemed like he was right there to always kind of win pretty big check, and we just would have a minor bobble, and it was usually in the rating. Because he was a big stopper. I think I pretty much, like I won the like the level 1 through the intermediate herd work on him up there at Idaho. He won the level 1 herd work in Reno, and he was going to be big in the reining at Reno, but they got me through that little league change deal there too.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. And the last couple of years leading up to this, you hadn't really shown it all, right?
I haven't shown a horse in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Cool. That's so I don't, just from knowing you a little bit, I don't think it's changed you a whole lot. You seem like a pretty grounded guy, but how has that changed in terms of your business? That success, does it help things, I'd imagine?
Oh, I think so, a little bit, yeah. So I got an opportunity here. There's a lady up there in Oregon. She's leasing Shane Steffen's old place up there. She wants a trainer in there, and I have a couple of futurity prospects, and I'm riding for her right now. And so I don't know, like that opportunity kind of came around. So I'm actually heading up there right after I leave here.
Okay.
And gonna go start training up there. Yeah, I mean, I think it helps a little.
Yeah, for sure. Well, opening an opportunity like that up.
Yeah.
Not that I don't think it's a correct way to look at it. Like, oh, he showed accomplished this, like now he's this good. But if you were that good before, you were already handy. But the shows just kind of reveal what people have been working on and stuff already.
Yeah, well, and like I said, I had they were good horses too, that makes such a big difference.
Yeah. My mom was a trainer growing up, and she always said, you'd be surprised how many good horses make good horse trainers.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Cool. So with all this, one thing I heard you talking about, and I want to visit about your time with Nick here, but you were visiting with someone about how you were really thankful for the education you got here, but when you went on and went and did your own thing while working on this stuff by yourself, you felt like it really opened some doors for you, like figuring things out.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's just like working here for Nick. He's so like just such a great horseman, and he's always thinking about the horse, and like you're trying all these new things that he's showing you, but you're really trying to keep in mind like the mind of the horse and where their mind's at, and it's just it's always tough when you're trying new things, and I felt like I struggled here, like just trying new stuff, um, and then I always felt like I was a little afraid to ever rock the boat, but like I was pretty good about riding my colts and not getting into anything that they struggled with. I was pretty good at like staying at where they were comfortable and me, like, and so
Yeah.
like trying new things and being uncomfortable was tough for me. And
Yeah.
because I've just kind of been in a pattern of riding so many 60, 90-day colts,
Yeah.
and I knew how to get them broke for the public per se.
Mm-hmm.
It was different, like trying to, bring the best out of these potential show horses, and
Yeah.
I almost feel like the better the horses, like the more you kind of got to keep challenging them and keep their brain working too, because they get bored with the same
Yeah.
same old stuff. So anyways, and then like, I don't know, like I just didn't, like it was hard because you almost like, you didn't want to disappoint Nick in a way, like you were trying to do a good job. And so I just didn't want to like do it wrong. So I would try to just avoid doing anything out of my comfort zone. But that's where Nick really helped me out, was like, he was like, man, you can't be afraid to fail. You gotta try new things. Like you gotta get out of your comfort zone. And and so I felt like I got the idea of it here, but then when I didn't have him around to just like, criticize me on what I was doing wrong,
You had guardrails.
and then I'm like, well, I almost started, I'm gonna try it, and it just, I was like, oh, okay, that's what he was talking about, like,
Yeah.
and
Can you talk about a few of those things? You don't have to give away any secret sauce or nothing, but
yeah, I don't know, it's more like getting those horses to want to do that job for you on their own. And there's so much like loose rein, and a lot of times those colts will fail, and you kind of got to reel them back in and or whatever, bother them until they find whatever you're asking.
yeah.
I was a little bit more hands-on, like I could kind of make my colts do some stuff, but 80% of it was me, or
Sure.
you know what I mean? And so like to just like completely throw it away and let them like fail, it was tough for me. But that's, come to find out, like that's how they learn. Like they have to fail and go out there and come back and show them what the right answer is. And like when I was out on my own, I was on that ranch and nobody was around, and I would just play with all that stuff, and
Yeah. Let them fail.
it made that horse so confident, like when he failed and then he found what the right answer was.
Yeah.
Like, it just made him confident in his own skin, and that's what I respect so much about, like, Nick, is, like, his horses are just, like, they trust him, and they're confident in themselves, you know, and
Yeah.
so, like, I just felt like all the little minor details of training, and it didn't matter what you were doing, but, like, getting them to want to do that job and feel good about it, like, it makes a pretty confident horse. Like, it's pretty amazing.
And that's cool. Like if people hear that, like that's the secret sauce right there.
Yeah, exactly.
If they can want to do it, it's almost hard to ride them badly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I used to always think, like, I'd struggle with something, and it like I said, it could be anything with training, and it almost makes me feel dumb because I'll come and I'll get help from Nick, and it's like it's the little things, and he makes it so simple, you know. And I'm always like kind of in my mind. I mean, I'm getting better about it now, but I'm always thinking there's like this big miracle fix or secret that somebody's doing, and it's not. It's the little things,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of gathering that about you just watching you this week. Like you might be sitting there on the horse, but you're never like dinking around on your phone or anything like that. You're sitting there like you're really thinking about stuff
Oh yeah.
all the time. I can tell you're a pretty deep thinker, or you're watching someone else ride and you're like, why is that happening? Why is this happening? Like, it seems like your wheels are turning almost all the time.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you'd be dumb to not try to take in everything that's going on around here, because there's just so much information going around, and yeah, it's just, and you're in this industry, like if you think you know it all, you're done. That you're never. It's a never-ending learning curve. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I think most anything where you're doing something like difficult with a horse, I think is that way. But yeah, that's something so cool about the cow horse. Like, it's like such a big problem to solve.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where everybody who's doing anything at a high level, like they're working their butts off and they're thinking their butts off. But it seems like here, just talking to you guys, like you can get something fixed up over here, and then you're like, oh, well, maybe we undid something.
Right.
Here a little bit. And so getting it all to coexist is so difficult, because if you were just a reiner and then it was like, get the horse to want to do that.
Right.
But it's like, hey, horse, I want you to want to do this, and then go into this pen and do this.
Right.
And this pen and do this.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, talk a little bit about when you first came here, you know, so you went from working for your uncle to here?
No, when I left my uncle's, I just was kind of a little bit burnt out on, like I said, I just rode so many colts for the public, and kind of, it just got to be the same thing day in and day out. I was just ready for a change. So when I left there, I actually just went around like northern Nevada cowboying.
Okay.
I worked for like the Sea Punch Ranch, which is a pretty big ranch.
Yeah. We've had the Ben Lubins on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Scott was awesome. He was so good to me out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
my favorite quote from that podcast was from Scott, because we had Scott and Andrea on there. He said, I grew up in Idaho, and I thought as a kid, like, if you wanted to be a real cowboy, you had to move to Nevada
yeah.
and be a real cowboy.
Right.
Said, now, I'll tell you, if you want to ride a horse that doesn't like you very much, a really long way, move to Nevada.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He was He was great.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, cool. And then, so how'd Nick get a hold of you?
Well, like I said, I was dating a girl that worked for Nick, and so I was in and out of here a little bit just to see her. And honestly, I kind of feel like Nick might have hired me just to keep her around a little longer. I don't think it was so much about me, but it all worked out good. Yeah, Nick, I remember he called me because she was in Idaho showing some horses, and I think she was actually showing a horse of Nick's there, and she did really, really well on that horse. And Nick was kind of chatting with me on the phone back and forth, like, "Oh, how'd it go today?" and this and that, and then he just asked if I wanted a job, and so I took him up on it.
Yeah. And when you got here, because you'd had so much prior experience, and you were like starting horses, and then weren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
little bit. I mean, it was a group effort.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the colts and stuff he would he'd have me start, and yeah, it was good. It was a good deal.
Yeah. Was that in your mind? You know, at that point, you probably have enough experience, like you can start whatever, get it gentle and stuff. But is there a switch of now I'm starting a horse for Nick Dowers instead of the public? Like, did you think about that at all?
A little bit. I think I was more concerned, like, trying to figure out his way of doing it.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of similarities there, I think, but it just was a little more detailed when I came here, and so I struggled with some of the little things a little bit, and I was trying to figure that kind of stuff out, because like I said, I started so many of them. I mean, basically my whole life I've been starting colts, and so I was trying to just figure out his way of doing it, and I had pretty strong muscle memory on how I went about things,
Okay. Yeah.
So it was just, which that was good for me, because like I said, you can't be afraid to try new things, and I was pretty stuck on the same, like doing things the same way.
Yeah.
Which it had worked for me in the past, but to get better, like I kind of had to get out of my comfort zone and try some new stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah. So he stretched you a little bit
Mm-hmm.
there. Well, and I'm sure that helped you stick around here, because it wasn't like, let me do that exact same thing and get burnt out again.
Right.
Starting colts, it's like, no, now I'm starting colts, but I'm trying to figure out a different way to do that.
Yeah. Well, no, I think like you struggle so long trying to figure something out, and then one day you come out and like things kind of come together, and like your horse is doing some cool stuff.
Yeah.
And like some of that stuff starts to click, and that's kind of what keeps the guy going, is when it's working. And
kind of just like the horse.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing with Nick, is he just, for me, I'd say like he just really changed my mindset on things. Like he just really got me to be open-minded, where I think I was a little closed-minded when I came here, like because like I just started so many colts, and so I wouldn't say like I was closed-minded, but I never got out and got away. And so in a way I was like, I knew how to do it my way. And that's what I went to, like, and then like trying new things was kind of scary to me, and uncomfortable, and that like Nick, like he almost made it to where like it was dang sure uncomfortable there in the beginning, but now when I try new stuff, I'm comfortable trying new stuff, even though it's uncomfortable at the moment. Like, I'm not afraid to go there because I know now, like, I know I can kind of work through it. And I feel like, I mean, like I said, it's the only way you're going to learn. It's like it's kind of, you know, some of this stuff is a little bit trial and error, but your horse will tell you when they're wanting to do their job for you too, you know. And so, I'd say like Nick's just helped me be way more open-minded, and like, I'm a lot more, my attention's a lot more like detailed on the little things of what's going on with my horses now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Well, and you got comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's a big deal. But yeah, it sounds like he just did with you what he does with all the horses.
Exactly. Yeah. He pretty much had to train me how to, like, get my mind.
Yeah. Put the search back in.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. Well, you know, one of the things I finally got to meet Nick in person. I've known him about 2 years now, and just visited on the phone, maybe like shot a video or something back and forth talking about horse stuff. But I got to, in the wintertime I'd ask what he's up to, and he'd show all these like wild cow videos.
Oh, yeah.
Or him or somebody else doing something on his mules. And I was like, oh, that's cool, man. And then I got to hanging around the help a little bit, and I heard a bunch of different mule stories from you know, just the highlights when they're really figuring their job out. But yeah, I guess that black mule he had out the other day, he had you working with that one day, and you kind of got stuck on the thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that mule kind of had a little runaway spot in him, and I don't think he'd been rode in quite some time, and I think we had got him out and groundworked him there for a week or something, and and then Nick wasn't here, but he wanted me to put a ride on him just in the ground corral, and yeah, he I can't remember what set him off, but something set him off when we were hauling, but he was
Just like a little, like 50-foot one?
he was running off hard in there. And I'm just thinking, like, I'm glad these things are sure-footed, because but anyways, we're running off for quite a while, and then he just sucked back and run off the other way and turn on the fence, and I mean, it was hard to ride. Mules are hard to ride anyways because they don't have any front end on them.
Yeah.
And but I got him rode through all that, and then like I just kept trying to like get in a good spot for where, like, well, in the beginning I tried to like get in a good spot to where he wasn't running off, so that I could quit on a good note.
Just in the round pen.
Just
don't run off in the round.
Yeah, just don't run
That's
off.
not a very high bar.
And I would just like, I would get him to where I thought I had him, and then he'd run off again. And then it got to the point where I didn't care about a good spot to quit. I just wanted off of this thing. and so, and then I, like, every time I tried to get off him, he'd run off with me too. And,
okay.
And I remember one of my buddies that worked here with me.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah, Joe, I was going to call him, and like, I couldn't even get my phone out of my pocket, because I was going to call him and have him come in there and hold him or something, like help me get off him.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I just tried to reach in my pocket, or no, that's what it was. My phone was sitting up on the bench, and I couldn't ride over close enough to grab it.
Yeah.
And or every time I reach for it, we run off again.
Yeah.
And so I can remember Joe was busy around there doing something, but they had just like put new windows in the cookhouse up here.
Yeah.
And like the sun was shining just right. Like I could see Joe inside.
Yeah.
He's drinking him some lemonade. I'm cussing him left and right. Yeah.
The way he tells it, he just was like, why is there a cloud of dust coming up from the
Yeah, I just see him looking out the window, drinking his lemon, and it's hot. It's like a hot afternoon out here, and I just went off this mule. Finally, I got to a point where I got off him, and I was toast. Like, 'cause we had ran off for quite a little while. And then, anyways, we ended up, Nick come back, and then he ponied me around a lot on that mule. I don't think I ever really rode him loose, but I left shortly after that, too. And I think Joe got a pretty good taste of the mule. My last day I came back here, and Joe used to give me crap about having to ride the mule all the time. It's all good humor, but like he'd give me crap. The last day I pulled in just to say goodbye, and Joe's on the mule, and Nick's ponying Joe around, and I just gave Joe a shit-eating grin, like, better turn out, buddy. But anyways, Nick's got that mule broke now. He's roped some wild cattle on him, and he's got him broke now, I guess. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, because he was a tough case.
Yeah. Well, he was kind of hard to get around with that feet too, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I chuckled the other day when he was getting Tessa's horse and mule together in the pen there, and he was telling Tess to get the mule's tail and stuff. He's like, oh yeah, that'll be good. He's like, just don't get kicked when you go back.
Oh yeah.
Because you had to shoe that mule too, didn't you?
No, I never did. I actually, when I came down here for Cowboy Week, I asked Nick, is there anything I can do? And he had that mule tied up right there by the indoor.
Yeah.
And he kind of laughed and chuckled. He's like, yeah, there is something you can do. Could you pull those front shoes and trim that mule's front feet? That was the first time I'd ever picked a foot up on him, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Good deal. Yeah. Gosh, I love a good mule story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was fun. When you were telling that in the cookhouse the other day, I thought, oh. Well, let me ask you this. I know you cowboyed a lot, but had you ever done the wild cattle thing before coming down here?
No, not a ton. That actually, like the real wild stuff, like probably was my first time down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Maybe any things you learned from that, or was it just kind of a survival thing?
No, I mean, I done enough stuff. I mean, those wild cattle, they're tricky. Like you dang sure have to know how to get around the country. You know what I mean, to get to where you can even get close to them. But yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of fun, really. Like anything wild is kind of fun.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Yeah. What's cool to me about it, just hearing y'all talk about it, it's almost like it's like half cowboying, half big game hunt.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like you have to have that skill set too.
Yeah.
With you. It's not just go out to the pivot and doctor a yearling.
Right. Yeah.
So with the showing deal, I assume you were like, with the success you had this year, are you out of the level 1 now?
Yeah, they booted me out of the level 1 animal limited.
Okay, so you're an intermediate guy?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Do you have any aspirations like for yourself or for your stud?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to keep, I want to keep riding nice horses for one thing. Like that's kind of what keeps us all going, I think, is the good ones, you know. And like I want to be able to go show and be successful and get my horses trained to the best of their ability, and just, you know, bust out nice horses. Like I want to be able to train nice horses and be able, somebody sell them later and somebody else have some success on them or whatever. That's kind of my goal is just keep being a good horse trainer.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have plans to derby your stud at all?
Yeah, I probably won't go like everywhere this year. I feel like he went everywhere last year as a 3-year-old, and so like in my mind, I might hit a couple of fall derbies on him. But I'm not going to go crazy. And then next year, when he's a 5-year-old and he's a little stronger and a little more mature, then I might go to a few more. But I just don't want to. I don't want to go so much that he doesn't like it anymore. Like that. He actually, like, I felt like that horse enjoyed going and showing as much as I did. So I want to keep that going. And then I think he's going to be a sweet bridle horse. Like, I'd love to show him at the world's greatest or something someday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, it seems to me like that's a pretty big deal in the cow horses, being tactful about when you're showing your horses, because you got to keep them sound and keep them sane and all that. So do you think it just depends on the horse, or do you kind of have a formula of, maybe that futurity, that 3-year-old year, get to it and then come back? And like, do you think that's the formula for most horses, or does it just depend?
Oh, I think it depends on the horse. I just like where I own him, I'm going to be pretty careful about how I go about things, because I'm looking for that switch. And all these guys, I feel like, Nick's really good about that with his horses. He'll, if he feels they need a rest or whatever, like, I don't go, and so I just want to keep him bright, and keep liking it.
Yeah. Well, that is one thing, from my understanding, like, time for the diamond horse, the longevity that horse has had is kind of a unique thing in the industry, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of horses that go on to be bridle horses, but yeah, it seems like there's quite a few of them that get, through those derby years, and then you just don't see them anymore. They go on to do something else.
Yeah. Well, and even compared to something like the reining, there's not really many reiners in their teens,
Right.
Anything at the pro,
Right.
And there's a bunch of factors that play into that, but I did, because I don't know how stud of Nick's is now, but he had him at the world's greatest last year. So that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
And I assume with the success you had, like, full plans of keeping your stud a stud and everything. Like,
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Where have you thought about, like, when you might breed him or collect him, or what the timing of that would be?
Well, I didn't really want to breed anything this year, but the lady that I'm going to work for at that place, she's got a really nice mare that she actually bought from my uncle that he had a lot of success on, and we're kind of thinking we might try to pull some embryos out of her this year and then breed her to my stud, which I think would be great. I don't want to breed a bunch to him, but I think it'd be really good cross on that mare.
Okay. That would be a pretty cool deal.
Yeah.
Because it'd be like this stud that you've had, and think so highly of,
Mm-hmm.
and then kind of tying it back to your roots with your uncle.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I hope that works out for you.
Yeah. Yep. That's our goal this year.
Yeah, cool. Well, yeah, I think it's really cool. Like that story that you were willing to go bet on yourself, and then you had a support system around you, people that believed in you too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hopefully it's just more success from here, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope so. Just keep my head down and keep going.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, if someone's listening to this podcast and they like want to send you a horse or want to get a hold of you for whatever reason, what's the best way for someone listening to find you?
Like Facebook too, you know.
Yeah.
I have a training page up now, which I just started over here. Just Thacker Performance Horses. You can always message me on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. Well, I appreciate you waking up, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of eager to get this wrapped up because I got to go figure out like does Connor have a beard because he's a wizard?
Yeah, I don't know what his deal is there, but he said he was almost at a year, so
Yeah.
he wanted to see if he could go a year with the beard.
Well, I meant he's a wizard because he got you to
Oh,
go up here
yeah.
this morning. That's
Yeah.
what I meant.
Yeah.
I was my jaw about hit the floor of the office there.
Oh yeah. No, he's pretty persuasive.
All right. Cool. Well, I appreciate it, man, and I hope you have some more good luck with your stud and everything else up in Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited to see how it works out for you.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.